Right, new site. We've been in the area before. I've been here practically 2 signals, and I have my first Norwegian coin. Oscar II, 2 øre. This place can be good. Right, 1 hour into the dig. It's been a lot of signals, a lot of iron, and Trond has arrived, and he's like, have you found anything? Nah, a couple of copper, bronze, a couple of bronze Oscar, and then I didn't care about IDing this one because it was over there, and he said, nah, Martin, yeah, I think you got silver, and look at that rim. And I think he's right. Last time I found silver here, it was also so toasted I had to bring it home. But this is probably 10 øre, Swedish maybe. So we'll keep that, clean it when we get back home. First silver in Norway in 2014. Very happy. Now this was a screamer, and it was with iron. It's a lot of iron, but it's not a button. And look at the shape of it. It's so irregular, so non-circular, so it almost looks clipped. They didn't clip bronze? I'll give you some water on the macro shot. Yeah, so it's an Oscar II from Sweden. It's not silver, but very unusual to clip copper or bronze. I think it's 5 øre, Swedish. A very strange shape. Yes, yes, yes! I think that's number 2. Look how green and stinky the silvers are in this place. And is it Swedish as well? It's Norwegian. Oscar II, 10 øre. Look how green they turn out. 1882, I think. That's cool. In the same area actually as where I found the other one. Very nice. Right, so I think I know why we have late 1800 coins around here. I think that in this corner the people on the farm used to sell vegetables or whatever, some of their produce, to the people after church, and they used these weights. Christian has found a similar one, a lot smaller. Here is his older brother. Now these are quite modern, so you won't find any fancy kings on them, I think. And I'll probably give this to the farmer because I think he will like it. If not, I'm keeping it. But I take this as a sign that in this corner they sold produce. And that's why we find coins in this corner, and that's why we find this. Just a suggestion. And 10 minutes later, here's another one. This is bronze, late 1800s. Oscar II. Look how beautiful the bronze coins come out of here, and the silver coins turns out to be really crappy. Let's get a date, 1893. That's in very nice condition. Beautiful patina. So and there's a lot of iron. I've switched to fast. I'm losing some depth, but I'm able to kind of lurk out the signals from all the iron. So I'm envisaging some kind of shed even. Maybe they had a permanent shed here during autumn, and that's had fallen down and all the nails are scattered around there. I'm gonna stick in this corner and do the fast lurky. It's always nice to have a hypothesis confirmed. I just spoke to the farmer's wife, or the farmess, and she confirmed that it used to be a shop on the corner here. She had seen it in a painting or a photo. This can be silver. It's a cuffling. Well, I can clean it up a little bit. And it was 9.25. And I know, because I did what I usually do. I just checked the metal quality and I broke the piece. And it's a shame because it has some really nice patterns in the middle there. But it was beyond, I don't know, it would have broken anyway. Nice piece. Nice pieces. Yeah, so it has started to rain. We're calling it today, it's T-Bone Steak time. Right, back home, we have a lot of stuff to go through. The coins from today, goodie bag from the UK arrived today. My last coins from Norwich. Beer into the fridge, beer out of the fridge. T-bone steak out of the fridge. This has been defrosting in the fridge for 2 days. Now I'm taking it out, and it's gonna stay at least 1 hour in room temperature to get it in room temperature. So I want this meat to be not cold when it hits the pan. I'm gonna do a simple dish with some Parma ham, some asparagus, and a white wine reduction from the pan. It's gonna be great. First, I'm gonna have a Swedish beer. It wasn't that great actually. It's too sweet. And clean the fines. We'll see what we have. I'm sorry. This roundup can be too long because I've got quite a few objects from today, and I've got some from Norwich in the spring, and some coins, some hammies. The silvers and the bronze from today, they're in just a little bit of lukewarm water with some dishwashing liquid. The bronze coins came out very good from the ground, so they will probably not need a lot of work, but the silvers were awful, so they're gonna need a little bit of acid. Some nice lead seals today. Where's the one with the crown? Yeah, this one. That's always cool when you get the crowns. Lünburgsale, I think it's German. Luneburg, that can be Denmark, but I guess these are all German. One krone, clad, legal tender. One Danish coin. Yeah. Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark. I think it's Frederick the 8th or something. A couple of buckles, not very interesting. This one, no, it's not a dagger cape. It's too red and it's too thin and it's just too it's just too fine. But I'm thinking cosmetics or something, that some kind of pomade or something that you would stick this in. Not a furniture. I'm not sure. If you have an idea, please post. Macro on this camera really sucks. But you can tell that this is not an old copper alloy. One musket ball. So we're still in the area where we're looking for those soldiers from that fortress, and we haven't found the field they were at yet. And they were definitely not on this field. This field was very quiet in one end, and then when we found the corner, it was very nice to get that hypothesis confirmed, because you have guests, you have a market because it's outside of the church, so you have clients, you have produce from the farm, and you have a good location, and then you start finding a lot of coins. And this farmer didn't want that. This it's 200 grams, 2 hectogram. So it's probably new. It's probably early 1900s, but it's kind of cool. This is from the UK. Couple of coppers, nothing special there. 2 silvers. George V. Is it a sixpence? Can't remember now. Yeah, sixpence, 1934. And a bull. What do you call him again? Bullhead. George the II, is it? Can't remember on the fly. Bull neck. It looks like a brute. And a Crattle Bell. So these are from the UK and they are not recordable. But I guess they are included on the export license because they're over 50 years old. All finds that you get in England when you do it the right way it's a lot of paperwork involved. So that's the relics from today. Relics, artifacts, whatever. I would like to get a date from you. Frederick 8, yeah, Frederick 8. So then we are no longer part of Denmark. Let's have a look at the bronze coins. This one had me fooled. You know, normally a 5 öre Oscar II wouldn't have this irregular shape. But it's late 1800s, Oscar II, Swedish. But it was, I thought I had something there. It's pretty knackered. You could see öre there. You see the O-R-E. And the date is a 1907. Yeah, 1907. Can it be? Can it be? Not sure. Looks like it. I haven't really cleaned these. I mean, this one is full. This can be cleaned. I gave the best specimen to the farmer because she knew about the shop and now she has a nice coin from it. It's not that I need many more of these. The one I gave her was spectacular. It was really nice. So. You've seen them all before. 1891. This one isn't that bad. A little bit more of washing. I've only soaked them now for a couple of minutes. Added some vinegar to my silver water over there. Let's see if that helps. I'm pretty sure that we can have a look at the cufflin, which I managed to break. But that was bound to happen because it was so bent there, and of course it was bent this way, so I couldn't see the stamp. And the 925 is there, as you can see. But it's a really nice pattern on it. A lot of small engravings and details there. Circular flowers. Give it some more time in the acid. The same goes for the coins. Give it a little bit more time. I haven't cleaned those. I will probably give them a little bit of a small clean, a light wash before they go to the album. Okay, Edward I, you know, not that special. Long cross. Bury St. Edmunds mint. I think that's my first. But he made a hell of a lot of coins. Henry V. Very worn. 1413 to 22. York mint. I love John, King John. First of all, they're down at the 1100. Second of all, they're all short cross voided, and he has this mean face. But it's hard. He has this mean portrait. He's not like you know, the Edwards. They look like clowns. But it's really hard to find them whole. Maybe I've got one. I don't know. I think I got three halves now. But John is one of my favorite. I like the short cross. I like the short cross coins better than the long cross. Don't know why. Now we're looking at half growth. Charles I. Charles I. The portrait is always worn, just like the Lizzies, and they're always very clipped. But you know, half growths have a little bit more details and shields and stuff on the back, so they're a little bit more interesting. Although they are, you know, 300 years. You know, more new than the Edwards. Copper farthing, Charles I. I like the idea that coppers can keep so well in the ground. This one would I need to get some dirt of that one. And another half King John. Not in as good as a condition as the other one. Canterbury mint. Canterbury is a cool place. And this is probably my favorite from the tour, except from the Lizzie sixpence. It's an Alexander III from Scotland. You don't find them that often in the UK. That's my first anyway. It's kind of worn. I'll try to clean them before they go in the album. Maybe I'll show them to you later. And I did find a silver horseshoe. Clean that too. So that was the finds and the relics from the UK in March, where I didn't film. And the other guys made so many cool finds. We did 3 or 4 gold rings, 2 gold sovereigns, 1 Saxon, very rare Saxon penny, 40-50 hammies. We were really lucky with our fields. Oh, at least 1 skeet and a silica and a Bronze Age dagger. Oh, we did a lot, and that was a really cool tour to Norwich. So we booked that for next spring already. Now let's see if we can get our silvers from today at least a little bit more, readable. So I ramped it up a bit, added a little bit of ammonia, changed to water, and ammonia is doing the trick. But you should only do that with coins like this, and you should take it slow and stop in time. I think they're only about 40% silver, 40 or 60. I think it's 40. Yeah, I think that should do it. Yeah, you can tell 1892. And the last one. And you can really see how that ammonia has turned this coin completely bland and white. I think it's a 1993 or a 1983. I don't have my book. But, terrible soil conditions for these coins. Anyway, it's my 2 first silvers of the year. I'm very happy with that. That's a little gilded piece from the UK that I brought just because it was gilded, but it's very thin. And that's the horseshoe. Now, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna cook my T-bone steak. If you're not very interested in food and cooking, you should probably, find something else to do. Because the next 2 minutes, I'm gonna show you how I prepare my T-bone steak. Nice and bloody. So the first thing you wanna do, this is really good. This is dark purple, good marbles. So you wanna get rid of that blood, because you want your steak to be dry when it hits the pan, as dry as possible, because you don't want any liquid there. You don't want it to boil, and you also want the spices to stick to it. So we're just gonna tap that blood off. Now all this gorgeous fat, you'll have to cut there. You'll have to make some incisions with a sharp knife in order for the steak to stay flat on the pan. You don't want it to curl. And then a lot of salt and pepper, and you want to salt and pepper the steak before you cook it, because after this is cooked, that spice won't stick to the meat. Then the meat has created a hard crust, and the spices will fall off. So you want to spice it with salt and pepper. I don't care what people say. Oh, the salt is going to dry out the meat. No, it won't. And then you want to really massage those spices in on both sides. And then I use some reduced white wine. It's a good buy, because then you don't need to have wine hanging around. And I've de-reduced it. I've rehydrated it. So this is basically just a couple of teaspoons, and I've added water. And I need a little bit of mustard, some cloves of garlic, some butter. And for the beef itself, I use quite cheap oil. This is going to be really hot. Here's my water for my asparagus. I'm just going to blanch them for like 1 minute. This is some really cheap ham. One guy thought they're selling them for $2. It's a good ham, but you can't get the slices off. So they all end up messy like this, so they're selling them out for $2. Here I use extra virgin olive oil. I'm just going to blanch these for 1 minute and wrap them up in the ham and put it in the oven. I want to check if my pan is ready. So I'll start off with oil, quite high heat. I really want this meat to get that burnt, fatty, caramelized flavor, but I don't want to overcook it. And I need that fat to be cooked, but I need the meat to still be pink. So we're going to chop this in here. That pan could have been a little bit hotter. Take it out. Admit your mistakes. Important. In the meantime, we're going to get rid of these because they're done. Cold water. I don't bother with ice cubes. To stop that cooking process as fast as possible. They're quite thick, these asparagus. That's fine. They're ready every minute now to be rolled up there. Let's see if our pan has improved. Looks a little bit better. Try again. Not perfect, but a little bit better. We're gonna give it 1.5 minutes on each side. In the meantime, we'll roll up these guys. So we'll take 4 in each package. 4. And just wrap them up in the ham. I just want the fat and the flavor and the nuttiness and the saltiness on there. I'm not charging anyone for this. Do a little bit of cleaning. Now you see, since I cut that fat curls up, but the actual meat stays plain, and that's kind of important. Now this is the contre filet and this is the filet mignon. This is so the problem with T-bones is that you really want this one to be a little bit more rare than the other one, and this one is a little bit too thin. But okay, it's bought in Sweden. So now we're gonna add butter, which is gonna increase the amount of liquid in the pan quite a lot, and a couple of cloves of garlic for taste. And now that the blood starts to come out, it's done. So that's gonna rest. Just gonna leave that there to rest. I'm gonna deglaze the pan with my white wine. That pan never got the right temperature. It's not gas, you know. This is electricity. So we're gonna reduce that wine, add a teaspoon of French mustard, swirl that in. So I want the aromas from the garlic, I want the fat from the meat, I want the spices and the aromas from the mustard, and the acidity from the wine. This is going to reduce, and then we're going to add a little bit more butter. That will take 2 minutes. Just added 2 leaves of laurel. Starting to reduce fine. Butter. So our sauce is done. in now the acid from the wine will make an emulate with the butter and make a kind of a beurre blanc. It's not a beurre blanc, but it's good enough. And the meat is resting. This can be for 2 persons, but I don't have any potatoes or anything like that. I only have meat and a little bit of vegetables. Now you could strain this sauce, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to remove the laurels and the garlic. Turn down the heat. I don't want this to break because of the butter in there. So that sauce is ready. Pour that over the steak. Voila. Nice. And then add our asparagus. And there we are. The ham is crispy. The asparagus is still crunchy. The meat has rested. We have a white wine mustard reduction and a perfectly cooked porterhouse steak. Enjoy! So was it any good? Yeah. Perfectly pink inside, crispy, tender, acidic, fatty. Good food after having detected for a couple of hours.